What's good, YouTube? Russell Winter here, and today we're going to talk about family business. Specifically, we're going to do a series on family business succession planning. There is a lot of different topics we're going to have to hit on because it's a complicated issue. This is not just a business transaction. So you're working with a lot of relationships, family relationships, which are always fun. We're going to break it up into 4 episodes. This first one's going to be an intro. We're going to kind of hit some of the different topics that we're going to go more into detail about. Right now, the main point that I want to get across is there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential in a family business when you bring in new blood that has new energy, can integrate technology easier. And another thing is the importance of taking the responsibility on yourself. Have the conversation with owners. What are the succession plans for this company? Maybe you feel like you're a good fit to run it. Maybe you've been involved in different roles in the company, or you come back from school, or there's 1,000 different possibilities of why you might be interested in running the company. Putting the responsibility on your shoulders to have that initial conversation with the ownership, I think is important, because there can be expectations, family business relationships, where one person may expect that they get the job because they're related. One person may expect that they get to run the company because they're related. But it's important to specifically have conversation. Not just like, hey, what do you think about me working here? Like, specifically write an outline. Make 3 key points to your outline so that you can remember them. Walk up to the owner. I like working here. I like what we do. And I think that I could really grow the company. What are your plans for the business for the next 10 or 20 years? I am interested in running the company. I'm interested in what it takes to manage this and take it to the next level. What do you think about? Are you open to? Some sort of conversation that clearly lets them know that you are interested, and clearly lets them know that you're excited, you're bringing energy, you're bringing a new perspective, the next generation into the company. I think that's actually very encouraging for a business owner. Although I've never been in the position of handing the business down or finding the next person, I have been in the position of having a role in the company and needing to find someone to fill it. And when you find that person who either steps up themselves or you promote them to that position, it's very satisfying, and it takes a burden off your shoulders, really, because you can trust someone with that role and you know it's going to get done well. So key takeaway is take your responsibility on yourself and have that conversation with the owner. Make an outline, make 3 bullet points that you can easily remember that get your point across. You like working there, it's a field you could see your future in. Does the owner currently have any plans for the longevity of the business, for succession plans, for who's going to own it and run it? And if there's an option, you are interested. They're very simple, they're very brief. And it starts with an initial conversation. It doesn't have to be a formal meeting, but make it memorable. Do make a point to say, hey, I would like to talk about business, something like that. The next episodes in this series are going to be about that specific initial conversation. Some more details. We're going to fill in some blanks. Maybe I'll even put up a little bit of a template to kind of walk you through possibly what the owner is thinking. Some things that you might not be aware of that you should consider. Initial conversation outline. That's what we're going to talk about in the first episode. The second episode is going to be on negotiation. So after you have that conversation, if it is an opportunity, if there is an option there for you to take over, take the reins of the company, take it to the next level, it starts with negotiations. It's real numbers, and it's complicated. It's actually more complicated because it's a family transaction. Certain bonds that you might think hold the family together based on relationships are looked at in different ways when you start bringing up hard numbers and what is the company worth. There's a lot of things that go into that because there's a lot of memories there, and you have to be careful because sometimes memories aren't worth a dollar amount when it comes to a business's viability. So the first episode is going to be on the conversation. We're going to call it the talk. The second episode is going to be on negotiation. We're going to work on setting up an official meeting. Having both parties bring outlines to the meeting. What are they both looking to get out of it? And it doesn't have to be very detailed. There's going to be lots of meetings before the deal is finalized and closed. But bringing that outline and each person getting to look at the other person's outline, it sets the benchmark for this is what we're talking about. Let's not get off subject. This is what I want. This is what you want. It's a good forum for that initial negotiation. And also, what kind of time frame are the owners looking at? These are things that need to be discussed. Are they looking to get out of the business in a year, or do you have 5 years to learn it? And start to get a feel for the hard number. What do you think they need from the company? What do you think they want from the company? What do you think is something you can afford? We'll even go into, in future episodes, we're going to talk about financing and how you can afford to buy the partners out. And in the third episode, we're going to really hash out roles and responsibilities in a small business. There's a huge difference between a company that has 3 people and a company that has 10 people and a company that has 50. The bigger that you get, the more each person is able to focus on a handful of roles and responsibilities as opposed to 2 handfuls. We're going to really hash out what did the owners, what were their roles, what did they do, how are you going to fill their shoes moving forward? Is it going to be you? Do you have to hire someone else? Did they do so much that it's going to be you and hiring 1 or 2 other people? That's a real possibility. They've more than likely been running this business for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and they got very good at doing things a certain way. So you got to find out exactly what they're doing. If your role in the company right now is not very close to them, if you're looking to run the company, you're going to have to get closer to them and understand what they really do. Also, what is your ideal fit in the company? What's something that you are naturally skilled at doing? Are you a book person, an office person, like finances? Are you good with customer service and sales? Or do you hate answering the phone? I think I haven't really met someone that actually likes answering the phone, but I'm pretty sure that there are people out there. And also, another key point in the third episode in roles and responsibilities is going to be, what do you need to learn? What aspects are you really falling short in that you won't be able to run the company if you don't know these? For me, that was reading a lot of books. I needed to read as many books as I could get my hands on when it came to building a company, building a team, having a vision, and then taking classes on finance. Growing up in the family business, I did a lot of the back end work. I was getting my hands dirty, making parts, cleaning things. Once when I was owner and transitioning into that phase, I needed to learn about finance. I needed to take classes on marketing and customer relations and human resources. And it's like, there's so many things that I still need to learn. There's a handful of things that are foundational that you need to get down. And all the better if you can learn from the person who's doing them right now, and hopefully doing them well, setting you up well to take over. So that's the outline for the next few episodes. Let me know if you got any questions. Post them down in the comments.